Greetings, everybody, once again from Christchurch, Missoula. This is Pastor Flynn with our weekly meditation from Psalm 37, verses 25 through 26. I have been young and now am old, yet I have not seen the righteous forsaken, nor his descendants begging bread. He is ever merciful and lends, and his descendants are blessed. But King David wrote Psalm 37 in his old age, and in these verses he is encouraging us that he has seen the truths contained in this psalm actually played out in his own life. His life experiences are evidence, proof that everything contained in this psalm is absolutely true and trustworthy, that God is absolutely true and trustworthy. We can believe the words of this psalm, and we can believe God. First, he says that he has never seen the righteous forsaken. This is so important to understand, especially in times when the wicked are gaining the upper hand. Just because times are bad, just because the wicked are prospering at the moment, does not mean that God has forsaken his people. Hebrews chapter 13, verse 5 says, "Let your conduct be without covetousness. Be content with such things as you have. For he himself has said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. So that we may boldly say, the Lord is my helper. I will not fear. What can man do to me?" Amen. Jesus is Emmanuel, God with us. And he does not tell his disciples in vain, "Lo, I am with you always, even to the end of the age." So again, the fact that the wicked are prospering first does not mean that God has forsaken us. Quite the opposite. David says next that he has never seen the descendants of the righteous begging bread. Now, at first glance, this may seem like a hyperbole. After all, David himself begged for bread while running from Saul. He was running for his life. But what David is expressing here is the same truth as above. The righteous are never forsaken. God may call his disciples to suffer for a time, to be sure, but they're never out of his perfect loving hands. Some may even be called to have a ministry like John the Baptist, who once the Messiah arrived, was beheaded, imprisoned and beheaded. But Jesus says John was the greatest man ever born, and John is enjoying his perfect reward in paradise. To John, Jesus most certainly has said, "Well done, good and faithful. Enter into the joy of your Lord." Now, while David experienced a time of begging for bread, God did not leave or forsake him. He did not leave him in that state. God, of course, as we know, continued to provide for David until he was actually made king over all of Israel. So the statement, "never seen his descendants begging for bread," is a way of expressing that God always provides what we need. Our hope is sure. It's a way of understanding how God views his people. And in Psalm 37, no matter what our circumstances, and in Psalm 37, it's a statement of how God views his people, his servants, in the context of suffering, while the wicked thrive. In Romans 8:18, it says, "For I consider that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which will be revealed in us." Later on in chapter 8 and verse 35, it says, "Who shall separate us from the love of Christ?" Listen to this list. Shall tribulation, distress, persecution, famine, begging bread, nakedness, peril, or sword? Those things may happen to us for a time, for a period, but none of those things separate us from Jesus. We are not forsaken. The resounding answer to that question is no. Nothing can separate the servants of the Lord from him. And this is the same glorious truth that is taught in Psalm 37. So the fact that we are never forsaken means, according to Psalm 37 and verse 26 of our weekly meditation, that we don't have to panic when the wicked thrive. We can still be faithful and do the right thing. In fact, we're called to be faithful and to do the right thing. We can be merciful, as it says in verse 26, generous. Those who follow David's counsel in Psalm 37 are blessed. And so are their children. We are blessed by the Lord, and there is nothing the wicked can do about that. Well, thanks for listening. Until next time, glory to the Lord of hosts.